Welcome to the weekly Dear Dr. Mao and the weekly COVID 19 update, which have been combined for this week. Today, I would like to talk about how to celebrate Thanksgiving and the holidays safely during the COVID surge and discuss where we are with the latest update in the coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. saw a record high 198,000 new cases last Sunday, and hospitalizations are up 49% across the country compared to the same period 2 weeks ago. The dramatic rise in cases and hospitalizations prompted the CDC to urge Americans to refrain from travel during the holiday season or gather with multiple households this year. The U.S. has now recorded more than 12,500,000 cases and nearly 260,000 deaths. Daily deaths are rising and remain high, up 60% from 2 weeks ago. Now I will answer the three most commonly asked questions about holiday travel and gathering and how to make Thanksgiving and the holiday season as safe as possible for you and your family. First, with Thanksgiving and the holiday upon us, what if you have to travel? Travel does increase your risk of contracting COVID. If you must travel, do it safely by car, or if you can't help but fly, take precautions. While flying itself has proved to be low risk, the airplane's ventilation is pretty good, and all passengers now must wear and keep masks on while in the plane. So here it is. Avoid eating on the plane. And when using restroom, keep your mask on, wash your hands with soap, and, very importantly, flush with toilet lid closed. Airports with large crowds are likely more hazardous than time spent on a plane. And that risk will increase as more people travel. So be sure to keep your mask on at all times and avoid touching your face. Second, so, what to do if you're planning a gathering with family and friends? It's much safer to have an outdoor meal than an indoor meal. Instead of dinner, do lunch or early afternoon. You'll have daylight and it will be warmer. Almost all transmission of this virus happens indoors. Eating outdoors doesn't mean you're invincible. Still, try to stay 6 feet apart if you can. Third, should I and my family members get tested before the gathering? Getting tested gives you that added safety. It makes you feel better, but you should still social distance. Wear a mask when you're with them, and don't share a meal with them if you've had high-risk behavior, such as attending a large gathering. When it comes to COVID tests, here is the guideline. PCR tests are considered the gold standard for accuracy, though at times they can detect the viral genetic material when a person is no longer infectious. Rapid antigen tests are most effective on those showing symptoms early on in their illness or when a person has a high viral load. The Center for Disease Control advises getting tested 1 to 3 days before flying and 3 to 5 days after, in addition to staying home for a week after. Those who test negative should stay home for 7 days after flying, and people who don't get tested should do so for 14 days. Now, even if you are virus-free the day you get tested, you can still get exposed to the virus in the time between the test and the actual gathering. So be sure to quarantine between your test and the gathering. If that's not possible, then get the rapid antigen test right before the gathering. Finally, despite a negative test, it isn't enough to reassure you that you don't have the virus, especially if you have symptoms. A PCR or rapid antigen test can confirm only that you do have the virus, but not 100% guarantee that you definitely don't have COVID. Having said that, the testing protocol I mentioned above is about 98% effective, which is reassuring. Of course, if you opt to stay home this holiday season, get together with family virtually by cooking and eating together via video conference, or if they are nearby, make the food and drop it off for them. I hope you find these tips helpful in navigating holiday celebration safely. Tune in next week when I'll talk about the gift of wellness. Until then, live long, live strong, and live happy.